Naruto's dad, let's talk about him. Don't get freaked out where there's points in the videos where you see a zombified Minato, Naruto's dad, because of, Orochimaru's famous reanimation jutsu where he makes people that were once dead their slaves. They call it Ito Tensei. But no matter if he's alive or dead, he seems to be a menace regardless. Let's get into how powerful this super ninja is. Ninjas in the world of Naruto, when you are a high elite ninja, you can use your inner energy to manipulate different elements. They call them chakra natures. Using your inner energy, depending on how much reserve you got, you can do new techniques when you learn different hand signs and stuff to learn new jutsu. Minato's Naruto's dad is no exception to this. I can't be the only one that thinks this. Doesn't magic users and Naruto ninjas have a lot in common? Like, for one, summoning different creatures to help them fight because they made a pact and stuff. You can't tell me these hand signs and doing magic don't give you the same vibe. All right, back to the topic at hand though. But since he's an elite ninja, he knows how to do a lot of versatile different things. Thanks to mastering a whole bunch of different jutsu by using your bodily and spiritual energies as one as chakras. One of his ninja arts he knows how to do is this Reaper Death Seal, where he summons the god of death to eat your soul, your chakra, or absorb your soul. Technically, because of this technique, Naruto became so strong because he had half of the Nine-Tailed might or chakra inside of Naruto, thanks to his dad. But it's one of those jutsu that I wouldn't say he should definitely spam because the risk of this is too great. You pretty much got to sacrifice your life to even do this, so this is not like a really good jutsu to spam. The part of your soul that gets sucked into the belly of the god of death, the Shinigami, will suffer forever, both the caster and the seal. But yeah, it's definitely not something you should spam because it's definitely a life-altering thing. I'll jump back to this in a bit. When the Nine-Tailed Fox was in a literal genjutsu, he knows jutsu that can release this type of stuff to where he's free. Just like his son, he can make shadow clones. So him and Naruto definitely have similarities. He's one of those characters that also have energy projection because he's the one that developed the famous technique, the Rasengan. During that time period, it took him 3 years to learn this jutsu in particular, a technique that creates a stream of chakra. It's like a ball of energy that's a mini cyclone. Something that top tier ninjas can do, pretty much all of them can do, is like stick to surfaces, stand on water, all that good stuff Minato can do since he was literally one of the Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village, one of the main leader ninja. As far as ninja ranks are concerned, he was actually at the top of the food chain, so he knows all the standard newbie ninja techniques. I mean, there's a lot of ninja in the Hidden Leaf Village, and to be granted the title of Hokage, you got to be like pretty much the strongest shinobi. The current Hokage in this particular situation, they was talking about Orochimaru and what they need to do. They were talking about how one of the few people that could defeat Orochimaru would be the fourth Hokage. All three of these beings are like Hokage level anyway, and they're saying he could take him on, one of the three great Sannin. And you remember that Reaper Death Seal stuff I brought up earlier? He has a base form, and he has his own transformations like Sage Mode. I would like to make something clear that Sage Mode is not his specialty. He never really had enough time to fully master it. And thanks to earlier when I brought up the Reaper Death Seal stuff, when the Nine Tails was attacking and going berserk, tail beasts in this universe have immense amounts of chakra. It was so much chakra to the point where everybody thought their chakra was limitless at one point in the early part of the series. Minato sealed away half of the Nine Tails. The reason why he didn't seal all the chakra inside of him or all of it inside of his own son is because no one person can handle such immense chakra, so he had to split it up into half. So he's the one that put it inside of himself and in Naruto. So that means when he got reanimated or resurrected in the zombie Ito Tensei state, he would technically have his own tail beast transformation chakra mode state. So pretty much that immense nine-tailed chakra, at least half of it he can control and use it to his own benefit during combat. Ridiculous stats of physical strength, raw speed, everything amplified because half of the nine tails and him technically became one in this powered up state. Talk about the ultimate father-son combo. Halves of the nine tails. He can do other ninja techniques like others can, like summon giant toads like Gamabunta. Just like other ninja, of course he can do the stuff like shadow clones, blasts, and stuff like that, but there's implications he has training in close quarters combat like taijutsu, aka hand-to-hand combat type stuff. We always see him wielding a knife, or one could say multiple kunai knives. It's because of the way he fights. He's basically considered a ninja speedster because of how he uses these knives. One could say it's like a form of speed because he can use teleportation. He carries a kunai with a special symbol on it, which helps him be able to maneuver around the battlefield. He even explains it allows him to be able to hop via transportation. This kind of stuff is scary because there's already implications he has decent fighting speed without even counting teleportation via reflexes and stuff. But it's practically impossible to run away from him once he tags you with his mark, so he can automatically teleport to that person if he's trying to hide. Just like he did here. One can say it's like a form of a speed blitz. It's so fast. That's why he's nicknamed the Yellow Flash of Konoha. And another thing that makes him busted is head when it comes to speed blitzing. He can stab you years ago, right? Or touch you years in the past by planting symbols on you. Then years later, when he fights the same being, he could still speed blitz the same being he fought years ago because the marking never fades. Keep in mind, he has this ability on top of the fact he can move ridiculously fast with the Nine-Tails chakra powering up too in this particular occasion. Talk about being unable to avoid a speed blitz. The bigger the object, the harder it is to seem to teleport because you need to use a lot of chakra to teleport something so big like teleporting the Nine-Tails. Confirmed here. But it takes a lot of chakra. There's a reason why they call him a Yellow Flash, because he literally embraces this speedster fighting style, teleporting around the field fighting style, because he brings gear to help complement this fighting style. Like bringing a whole bunch of kunai around the battlefield and throwing them, all of them having his sigil or his sign on it so he can teleport, no telling where on the battlefield. They even revolve strategies around his teleportation and kunai to get the advantage of their foes. They will literally lay out this many kunai with his symbol on it so he can teleport and speed blitz. But he did this off panel, unfortunately. Even if you're a mighty tailed beast and you try to shoot a blast at him, he can do a teleportation on energy blasts themselves to teleport the blast away. I'm going to get back to his speed in a second or two, but what the heck are these blades or kunai made of? Because back in the day, they got into interaction with some other fast beings like the Rikage Killer Bee, a being that can control his tail beast really well. We not about to ignore that this dude cut a big chunk of the tailed beast. 8 tails is tentacle in this occasion, showing some strong cutting power. If he can cut that hard in his base form, what do you think his cutting power is when he's got the power of half of the chakra of the 9-tailed beast demon entity in this little body? He actually lacks striking feats because he doesn't have as much screen time as his son Naruto, but for the most part, whatever Naruto can do physically in this cloaked up golden Kurama chakra mode state, there's really no reason to say he couldn't do similar things. Do you remember all that stuff Naruto used to do in the past when he didn't have full control over the tail beast? Well, just imagine all that stuff he did in the past. He can do all that stuff at will when it comes to raw strength and power output. And since the dad has the other half of it, when it comes to raw power, he should be able to do a lot of that similar stuff too. Stated by the Nine-Tails himself that you got the same me inside of you as your son, equal halves. Like times like this when Orochimaru sent all these snakes up to Naruto when he was going berserk, he simply swiped his hand and the Nine-Tailed Fox was able to blow it all away with one swipe. Akatsuki members like Pain that did the almighty push to berserk Naruto when he was in the 6-tailed state, it actually failed and pushed Pain back because of the recoil. And we all remember what Pain's almighty push at maximum power could do. Could blow away a city. The physical strength of the Nine-Tails has the strength to bust up out of something that's bigger than multiple mountains. Like this big old ball when Pain did the planetary devastation Chubaku Tensei. It had this kind of power. It would only make sense if Minato in this tailed beast state could do something similar with his physical strikes. I'm talking about the strength to delete mountains with strikes. Remember when Naruto had to withstand his own tailed beast bomb, you know, stuff that can level mountains? He had to withstand all of this destruction that was right in his face. Minato should be able to do similar. He literally has the other half of this Nine-Tails entity. Him just transforming in earlier stages was blowing away a big chunk of the forest. Big chunks of it. When some of his power was being unleashed, this is how much collateral of the tree that gets blown away. Just from the collateral. You remember the Rasengan I brought up earlier? First of all, in his base form, when it comes to his blast power, in this occasion with Obito, you can get an idea of how much impact this Rasengan can produce based on the environment, on how the ground gets engraved after the hit, causing all that destruction, messing up this masked man's arm. Now, if we're talking about this Rasengan, his golden state with Naruto, oh, by the way, Minato can enter a golden form, like this tailed beast form. It's like a golden energy avatar, like kind of like a Susanoo, but like Nine-Tailed Fox. Imagine having pretty much all the tailed beasts that were pretty powerful in their own right inside of a being and control their might and stuff. Naruto and Minato made a Super Rasengan together in these big avatar golden states. These two can do a Super Rasengan together against this 10-tailed Jinchuriki. Even if we're not talking about Rasengans, Naruto can do a tailed beast bomb. Minato should be able to do this as well. But if I'm being honest, the best way to understand Minato in this state's power, and this scan right here proves that even though all these tailed beasts shot their own individual blasts, Naruto in this Kurama state could swipe them away, which Minato technically should be able to do as well. Notice how all their attacks are mountain shattering or explosions are bigger than mountains. Meaning that Minato Kurama state should be able to do this as well. But that's not all. Remember when they all combined into one tailed beast blast? And Naruto by himself, even at half power, was able to nullify or equal this blast by himself to make an explosion or a blast so big it makes mountains look like toys. At this point, this blast could definitely split islands in half. And Minato should technically have the power to blow away an entire island, multiple mountains with ease at this point. He's the creator of the Rasengan, something Jiraiya can also do. Jiraiya with his Sage Mode power can make Rasengans ridiculously massive in his Sage Mode. Minato can definitely do Sage Mode as well. There's a good chance he could do a technique like this as well, something that can carve away a mountain. So even without Kurama State, one can imply he could definitely carve away a mountain with one attack if he had to anyway, or at least make one tremble in its wake. So imagine how much power output he can put out in this golden Kurama State with a Rasengan. This island's definitely getting deleted, especially when you saw what Naruto can do in the same state, making an island-shattering explosion. Or even if he doesn't do a Rasengan, he just do a Tail Beast Bomb and produce this kind of power. A lot of this power came from the Nine Tails. Maybe half of this size came from the Nine Tails because it had to clash with the other Tail Beasts that used their energy together to make this explosion in the first place. Now, when it comes to Naruto's other stuff like Sage 6 Pass Mode, he don't have. And these orbs you see around Naruto, that's like a special perk. But yeah, the other half of the Kurama bestowed him. That's still pretty powerful in its own right. So check this out. This being known as the Raikage, a speedster type character of the show, there was actually a point in the story where Sasuke wasn't in his prime yet, with all that Rinnegan BS stuff. This is before all of that stuff. He was actually too slow, even with his Sharingan, to react to blitzes from the Raikage to follow him with his eyes, so he simply just had to make a Susanoo around himself to put black flames up, so no matter where you hit him, you get burnt by it, because he was too fast to track. This is crazy to think about because Minato doesn't have no special eyes that helps track your chakra to see what move you're about to do next or nothing, helping your fighting speed out, right? He may have Sage Mode, but a lot of these feats of reacting, he doesn't even use this kind of stuff to react from full-blown blitzes from the Raikage. Somebody, apparently him and Killer Bee together, both of them can do moves. Their Lariat, for example, one of their many moves they can do, that can attack almost at the speed of light, apparently. But I know what you're thinking. Minato isn't that fast because he uses teleportation, not raw speed. He doesn't use speed like how Rock Lee or somebody like Raikage uses speed to travel from point A to point B. Rather, Minato just says, forget all of this and just ends up on this side without even having the travel distance. So you're thinking, what does that have to do with his actual reflexes? Well, it's this simple like this. When somebody has the speed to activate their jutsu, despite the Raikage's fist being this close to his face, it's implied he had the reflexes to do this because of reaction time. One can say being Raikage's rival in speed thanks to via teleportation and his natural reflexes. I mean, how are you supposed to counter a blitz from a guy that can do instantaneous movement with a thought wherever his symbols are or wherever his kunai are? Because at the end of the day, how are you supposed to know that he tagged you already? So there's a good chance when it comes to raw reflexes, he can react to stuff that can go almost the speed of light because of teleportation. Another way you can look at it is the fact that he's literally considered a speedster of the show. The best ways to understand standard speed prerequisites of the beings in the show. Say a teleporter like Nightcrawler from Marvel, right? You see how he's looking at the blast and he's able to react and dodge it, right? That's reflexes. Despite him being able to teleport, he still has to know when to trigger the teleportation. But let's say, for example, somebody like the Flash was blitzing Nightcrawler. He wouldn't be able to accomplish this feat right here. He would hit him before he has a chance to register the teleport. That's what Minato is doing, basically. Even though every attack in Naruto isn't lightning level fast, this particular one seems to behave like actual lightning. Beings like Kakashi can react to lightning level stuff. So even if you don't want to say he can react to near light speed stuff, he has a bare minimum be at least lightning level when it comes to fighting speed and reaction speed to these, when it comes to these ninja reflexes. The guidebooks even talk about this one, for example. They talk about how it's ridiculously fast because they talk about how it makes it to where they can slay enemies in an instant and it's exceedingly difficult to dodge, flying at high speed. This same attack is what Kakashi reacted to. Minato should be able to do stuff like this too, consider he's the speedster of the group, of the show. It all seems fair reflex-wise, right? I mean, then we got attacks like this that are lightning-style level attacks, where lightning is literally taking form to strike an opponent. In this particular occasion, they even get kind of specific with the speed when it comes to this lightning-based attack. I think reacting to things that can move 200,000 miles per hour is more fair lightning level speed, right? Kakashi, the being that could react to lightning, as a kid, Minato was a grown adult and was pretty much mentoring him. It's also shown in these reflexes when a young Kakashi was in trouble and Minato had to save him with his reflexes to warp away. Another good idea of his speed is when This guy is literally about to stab baby Naruto, and he's fast enough to warp away that fast. But the best proof to really show that his reflexes and speed in general is up there with the god tiers of the verse. Basically, when Might Guy achieved ultimate power by opening all the 8 gates at the gate of death, he achieved some incredible speed because he was literally blitzing Madara, who had Sage of Six Paths level strength. Sage of Six Paths level being like Naruto, for example, reacted to this Fang of Light technique from Madara, superpowered state. Naruto and beings in this tier can react to stuff like this, light. Even though Madara can react to stuff light speed, near light speed type stuff, apparently, Minato can still react to these orbs like this, for example, mid-blitz, even though Guy was literally in the middle of blitzing Madara. He did this in base form, by the way. He was moving so fast, he was bending space and stuff. So it's not really much you can say to convince me otherwise that he's not ridiculously fast. We're not even going to get on the fact that since he has a piece of Kurama, we're not even going to get on the fact that Minato might actually have the raw power, thanks to Kurama, be able to turn the world into ash, but that's none of my business. This would say a lot about Minato, because even if you don't want to assume he can destroy a planetoid like the Earth itself, what if he can destroy smaller planetoids like the moon or something? There's different ways you can look at it. The thought of having the power to devastate the Earth sounds crazy though, but we've actually seen visual cases of them actually splitting the moon on panels, so the moon thing definitely seems believable, because this is actually footage from the Naruto last movie of them like fighting Naruto and somebody else was fighting doing this. This kind of lets you know that that statement might not actually be an exaggeration. Minato might be able to do something close to this or something when Naruto was facing somebody that had the power to do this. You know, it's something to think about. But guys, at the end of the day, all of this could be just me. Do you respect Naruto's dad? He was a beast. Too bad we didn't get to see him master Sage Mode. How scary would he have been like that? I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.